Hi, welcome to So Good the Podcast. I'm Katie. Let's get the show started. Before we get the show started, my thoughts and prayers goes out to everyone, every minute, every day, every hour, every second. It tries to happen in the world today. We gotta look out for one another. It's a lot on my radar. That I would like to bring to y'all's attention. No particular order, but before I get the show started, so when it comes to how we interact with one another, whatever you stand for, whatever you believe in, whatever how you represent what you represent, it's from this end. It's all respect and love, right? Just hope that should reciprocate that type of respect. What tends to happen in today's time is that we don't communicate anymore. We really don't. People are entitled to what they believe in, or how they feel about whatever the conversation or dialogue that's being had. But those who truly looking for truth, trying to find themselves and no purpose, they're looking for those who are like-minded. There's so much in the world today that most people think alike. They do the same thing, believe in the same things. Cool, there's nothing wrong with that. But for those who stand out because of what they believe in and stand on their 10 toes, the square that they are standing in, most people call them unique, or something's wrong with them. Whatever language you want to say, crazy, or they just don't fit in with the inner circle, and that's cool. We all are unique in our own way, but at the end of the day, we all are connected, some shape, form, or fashion. Can't get around it. I would love for us to get back to, having a dialogue. It's a lot of hearsay. It's a lot of what someone told you, and you ran with it, and you believe in what was told to you. You're entitled to that. It's a very small portion of people out here today that take heed of what's being told to them respectfully and go do their own research. And for the most part, they go back and have that dialogue with that individual in a group respectfully, and just talk to one another, speak their piece, hear someone else's piece, and then move forward. Come to some sort of conclusion, and you can move towards a new task and something new. They'll be stagnated. Most people be stagnated because that's what they want. Some people love drama. People like to be entertained with it. To each his own. There's a form of entertainment as well. Some people might not like whatever they dislike about possibly this platform, whatever the case may be. To each his own. On this platform, we let you know what you need to know, not what you want to hear. This platform is, a very small portion that talks about what is. It's nothing about your feelings. It's not about your feelings. It's about the truth. And what people don't realize, if you don't know already, that truth needs no company. You don't need your opinion. You don't need your feelings. It's just what is. And people, more than not today, go against what is. And I met someone, or they met me, and small conversation, wasn't too long. People have a sense of entitlement. Why? I'm not here to try to figure it out. I just know what is, right? Give you an instance. If you are conversing with someone, it's the first time meeting them, and you're introducing yourself, and someone asks you, who are you? And you inform them who you are, what you want to be called by, whatever that may have been that you told them. That's what it is. If someone say, no, that can't be your name, what was your birth name? That's the name I, pretty much informed you what I would like to be called. So just that part, some people might say, well, they're just trying to get to know you. okay. The name that was given to you, if you are around that individual long enough, you will hear other people call you by the name that was given to you. So why do people feel like, don't worry about it. So that was like alarming, because as of late, it's just more of that is taking place. People feeling entitled. It don't have anything to do with age or just maturity, how mature you are in the stage of your life right now. And thinking is not knowing, knowledge, right? Knowledge is knowing. Believing is not knowing. And we need to get back to, I might have said it, probably haven't, but, iron sharpen iron. And let's just get back to having a dialogue and helping each other get better. What you like to do is what you like to do, respectfully. And other people choose to do what they enjoy doing. But just because someone don't partake in what you love to do doesn't mean that they can't actually help you. Like, no matter what it may have be that you choose to do in this walk of life, there's so much judging going on. It's out of this world. It's out of this world. And the thing about the judging part, those who are doing the judging, they look up to whoever they look up to. And in today's time, in real time, those that they looking up to come to find out that they wasn't doing right for a very, very, very long time. So that lets me know that you was being, you got what you asked for. But they lied to you. And they might have looked better in the camera. They might have had some of the most outstanding wardrobe or jewelry, material things, right? And they say don't believe in everything that's shiny, And those who do believe in that way of thinking, coming to find out that it was all a lie. And those people are 2024. What they did in the dark is coming to the light, and people have and will replace them with those that you couldn't believe that can replace those people that you looked up to, or respected, or believed in, and that's just where we are in the world. And we need to get back to helping one another. We need to get back to trusting and believing one another. Is it difficult to do that in this world today? Yes, but you have to know thyself, know who you are. And when someone else know that you know who you are, you understand and knowingly know who they are, and go from there. Right now, if you judging off of material things, it's better late than never. It's never too late to walk that fine line, that God line. So for today's show, it's a lot going on this platform. We spoke about probably a long time ago, contingent to the economy. We spoke about in the very near future what will transpire in the world later on this year. And we spoke about car industry. We spoke about the porting industry as well a while back. Spoke about job cuts. We spoke about the economy that's taking place, and also we spoke about how we treat and love each other. But as of late, this port, the workers, they are on strike, and it's happening in real time. Some people have been prepared. Most people are not, because they are focused on whatever they focus on, whatever media outlets or whatever they like to be entertained by. That's their right. It's always been who you are connected with. Your resources. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know, because if you know the right people, you will never go without knowing. It's going to come a time very, very soon, stated a long time ago, that it's going to be about who you know. to not only survive or to do what you want to do rather than do what you have to do. And a lot of people are going to do what they have to do because of the lack of resources. And that's where we are. So they saying the port workers strike is for the first time in nearly 50 years. Excuse me. They saying tens of thousands longshoremen at ports along the East Coast and the Gulf of Mexico went on strike shortly after midnight, the first strike by the port workers union in nearly 50 years. Workers walked off the job from Maine to Texas to Association Press and other outlets reported it after the United States Maritime Alliances and the International Longshoremen's Association, abbreviation ILA, failed to reach an agreement by the midnight deadline. The USMX, they said on Monday evening that it had traded counteroffers and related to wages with the ILA, first sign of movement in months. The union has demanded wages increases in the total ban on automation of crane gates and container moving trucks. Negotiations has broken down in June between the ILA and the USMX over an automated gate at a port in Mobile, Alabama. The USMX also said it had asked the union to extend the agreement until expiry of October 1st. Both sides have moved off their previous position. The USMX said in a statement, "We are hopeful that this could allow us to fully resume collective bargaining." Many retailers front-loading shipments are diverted shipments through the West Coast in anticipating of the strike, but the businesses are bracing for a strike with no clear end. Estimated from the economic impact of the strike cover of wide range, the business research nonprofit the Conference Board puts the cost at around $540 million per day, while analysts at J.P. Morgan estimate the cost could be up to $5 billion daily. Teamsters General President Sean O'Brien issued a statement with the ILA Monday evening saying that the U.S. government should stay the F out of the fight and allow union workers to withhold their labor for the wages and benefits they have earned. Any workers on the road, in the ports, in the air should be able to fight for the better life free of the government interference. Corporations for too long have been able to rely on the political puppets to help them strip working people of the inherent leverage, O'Brien said, while Biden dispatched senior officials to urge USMX and ILA officials to come to a fair agreement fairly and quickly. The president declined to invoke a legal maneuver that would have bought the parties more time to negotiate. What is it? The Taft-Hartley Act, which allows presidents to ask a court for a 80-day cooling off period for strikes that imperil nation health or safety, was last used by the President George W. Bush in 2002. Biden, who used another legal mechanism to avert a rail strike in 2022, said Sunday that he would not use Taft-Hartley to stop the longshoremen strike, citing collective bargaining. The impeding strike incensed some businesses leaders and Republicans. Rep. David Roser, we call him RNC, argued that the Biden-Harris administration has failed to act to protect our economy and American consumers in a post of the social platform X Monday morning. Another statement that a week-long strike could create a backlog at our ports until November. Said Roser, who represent Wilmington, where one of the ports be impacted by the strike is located. The U.S. Chambers of Commerce President Suzanne Clark pushed Biden Monday to invoke Taft-Hartley, warning it would be unconsiderable to allow a contract dispute to inflict such a shock to our economy. These ports collectively handle more than 68% of all containers exports, and 56% of imports for the nation, with a daily trade value exceeding 2.1 billion. Clark wrote, "Simply put, you have the authority to keep contract negotiation going while keeping the ports open." Lawmakers expressing their support for the longshoremen were also quick to call for agreement to minimize the economic fallout. Rep. Troy Collar, DLA, said that the both parties must come together in a good faith to find a solution that respects workers' rights while minimizing economic disruption. Another statement: "Every worker deserves fair pay for their labor, period. I fully support the International Longshoremen Association right to bargain for fair pay, benefits, and safe working conditions. I also recognize the significant impact a strike that this scale could have on the U.S. economy," said Carter, who represents New Orleans, another strike site. Rep. Jerry Nadler, DNY, who represents part of Manhattan, said he is proud to stand with the longshoremen as they fight for the fair wages, protection, and respect they deserve. The longshoremen are the backbone of the U.S. economy, keeping our ports and supply chain running smoothly. During the pandemic, the longshoremen stood with us to keep shelves stocked across the nation. Nadler said, "It is my hope that the both parties quickly come to agreement to prevent a strike with wide-ranging impacts of the port operators." Economy longshoremen, Nadler added, while longshoremen strike will put pressure on the economy, including potentially pushing up the prices of consumer goods and recently tamed inflations. The conference board also described invoking the Taft-Hartley Act as a political minefield, so close to the election. Most of the major union and labor organization endorsed Biden before he dropped out of the race in July, quickly pivoted to back Vice President Harris in the presidential election. Alex Hartel Fernandez, Associate Professor of International Public Affairs at the Columbia University and former Labor Department official, outlined that the political calculation of the intervening in the strike 5 weeks before Election Day. Now, statement: "Given that the president and the vice president have been committed to supporting the labor movement, I think they understand that invoking the Taft-Hartley would be seen by the labor movement as being a pretty significant threat to their autonomy and ability to bargain across the table for their employers," Hartel Fernandez said. ILA President Arnold Daggett said in the press release this summer that he has a long relationship with our former President Trump, and that the two had a productive meeting in November of 2023. According to the Daggett, Trump promised to support the ILA and is opposing to automated terminals in the U.S., one of the union's top concerns. They said how long the strike would last, anybody guess, but Hartel Fernandez offered a message from the caution optimistic ahead of the strike announcement Monday. "The parties always seem very far apart until they're not," he said. It's very unfortunate. Like I said, on this platform, we've been talked about a lot of things that are taking place in the economy. It's just now people that wasn't aware of it or didn't care anything about it, it's now surfacing. And I hope you all prepared. I hope you all are stocked on goods. It's going to get very hectic out here, very, very fast. Inflation's already been high for quite a while now, and it's only going to get worse. If they do not come with an agreement, like they said, their guess is better than yours and mine, right? So that means it can go all the way up to November. Are you stocked up in goods up until then? I hope so. I hope so. Because you're going to need it. And then if you don't have it, then we can go back to how I started before. I gave you news about that. Who you know will inform you to where to go, where to get the goods, who have them, who don't have them. It could save you a lot of time, and it could possibly, most likely, save you some money. Not overpaying. That's just where we are. So it's very unfortunate that I have to inform you with that type of news. That's just where we are, and it gets worse before we get better. So sticking with the pork, we're going to go to pork. It's on my radar. Yes, pork is on my radar. It's being recalled. It's being recalled. They are saying according to the Newsweek, Pork Dynasty Inc., based in Texas, recalled nearly 470 pounds of fried pork skin products due to an undeclared allergen and misbranding, as announced by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety Inspection Services. That was on Friday. According to the FSIS, impacted products contain soil and allergen not listed on the package. The issue was identified during a routine and plant verification activities conducted by the FSIS. They send the details of the product. The recall includes 2.5 ounce and 3.5 ounce bags of Texarans, born in Philippines, made in Texas, fried out pork fat with attached skin spices. These items are packaged in plastic bags and have establishment number of EST 46015. The products were distributed to retail and dining establishment throughout Texas. They say they're advising so far no allergic reaction or health issues have been reported. However, the FSIS urges consumers who have purchased the recall products not to consume them. Instead, they should either throw them away or return them to the place of purchase. Well, that's another product that was on the shelf that's not good for you. Ain't no telling how long they were selling this stuff to you, and it's very unfortunate. It's another thing. Now, some people will continue to still consume whatever they want. They just advise you not to. But to each its own. It's up to you. Inform me what you need to know, not what you want to hear. And this is where we are. Now, this one here is going to... Like I said, the car industry it's been, and Jeep is on my radar. They saying Jeep is recalling nearly 200,000 SUVs that could cause fires even when the ignition is off. Like, getting to the point, like, whew. Okay, so far this is from Barnell Anderson. So far this has been a pretty tough year for the automotive industry. Like I said, we've been talking about a lot of brands on this platform in the car industry. A lot of them, not all, but most of them. And like I said, Jeep is on my radar. So they saying, this is partly the case due to excessive number of cars recalls. Now that Jeep has another one in its hands over the risk of fires with some of its top SUVs. Luckily, auto mechanics at the Jeep dealership can fix the problem at no cost to the owner. Shouldn't. Jeep and other Stellantis-owned brands have issued a number of car recalls this year. Now, according to the Associated Press, the beloved automakers recalling about they saying this, like a misprint, 194,000 plug-in hybrid SUVs across the globe. This is a significant recall because these vehicles can catch fire even with the ignition turned off. Especially this impacts the Jeep Wrangler 4xe from 2020 up to 2024. The Grand Cherokee 4xe from 2022 to 2024 is also included. As with most car recalls, auto mechanics at Jeep dealership will soon have a fix for the potentially dangerous issue. However, this isn't the case yet, and owners will receive a notification when they have a repair. For the time being, people who own these popular SUVs have some directives from Jeep. The automaker says not to charge the SUV and to park it outside away from the structure. This is important because the chance of a fire decreases when the battery isn't charged. There have been 13 fires and 2 injuries related to this issue. Stellantis believes the problem is present in about 5% of the SUVs. Car owners need to adhere to all car recalls, but this is a significant one. yeah, it's very unfortunate. A lot of these cars, these brands, something's wrong. Like they're having recalls all over the place, and those relatively new. We are in 2024, and they saying from what they say from 2020 for the Jeep Wrangler to 2024 and 2022 to 2024. So it's not even 4 years in between those new models. They changed the outlook of them, and they already have a recall. So what type of car are you going to drive? For the most part, I didn't have any problems with Jeeps up to this point. It's on my radar. It's not too many vehicles and brands in the car industry. Like most things in corporate America, seem like most of these things aren't good for you. So now it's about the quality. Who have been taking care of the people. People are looking to spend money, have been spending money, and it seems like it's getting a lot of recalls, and it's health risk, and threats with these charging ports at inside your garage. It's been we spoke about on this platform. Someone was charging their car in the parking garage, and the whole house caught on fire. The good thing is that the family got out. All parties was out of the household, and it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that these things are happening. But you could say, well, something can always happen. Yeah, things go wrong if it's not done right. That's just the way. That's how the makeup is. Just how it is, and this is where we are. Contingent to, like I said, the ports and people going on strike. Somebody's not doing something right. Something is not being done right from the beginning, and this is where we are up to this point. What else is on my radar? They are saying that they call it the U.S. watchdog issues of warning to medical debt collectors. Excuse me. The top U.S. consumer financial watchdog on Tuesday warned medical debt collectors they facing enforcement action by the federal regulators if they illegally attempt to collect on inaccurate or legally invalid medical debts. Around 100 million Americans currently owe 220 billion medical debt, according to the U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which has issued legal guidance on what is said were illegal debt collection tactics. The CFPB, the federal agency that industry loves to hate, is making its latest move to clamp down on the revenue-generating practices. Says, as while a large segment of they say they're angering by raising prices in a tight election year. Vice President Kamala Harris has also spearheaded the CFPB's effort to remove medical debt from consumers' credit reports. Key quote, medical billing is often riddled with errors, including inflated or charges, fees for services patients never receive, or charges already paid. The CFPB director, Rohit Chopra, said in a statement that the CFPB is taking action to ensure that Americans are not unfairly chased by debt collectors over or invalid medical bills. Substantiated medical bills. The context, according to the CFPB, illegal practices include double billing for the same services, collecting no debts that are false and insufficiently documented or that exceed legal caps and misrepresent the consumer's right to dispute the charge. So they're not even representing the consumers correctly, allowing them to dispute it, charges, they turn the people down, saying that it's accurate and all these different things. It's very unfortunate because this goes back to the beginning of the show. people are believing what's being told to them, going and going off of hearsay and just spreading, false information. Like I said, we need to get back to not who told you, is what you read. Let's have a dialogue about what you read. That's it. Nothing. Let's try to, because most can't hardly. Let's put your ego to the side. Let's put your status to the side. Whatever you have. Let's just let's communicate. Let's have a dialogue. Let's sit down and have what most people might say an uncomfortable conversation. Most people don't want to do that because they are, too prideful, and that's why we have division now in the world. People have, the ego. The ego is too big. So, I'm glad that the CFPB, the people that are in position to protect the people, stepping up to the plate. Finally, that's what it's about. The people are the ones that have been affected, and the people need to stick together, because if it took them this long to protect the people need to protect themselves, and we need to help those who helping you and help each other. We need to unite and come together, because those who you believing in, which is not knowing, they don't care nothing about you, and now they're trying to do something about it when this should never happen in the first place. These people shouldn't have been allowed to do these things, but this is the world that we're in. So, this been going on for years. So that means for years, most people have been misled, been lied to, and they in business to make money, supply and demand, and that's what it's about. But the people, like I said, we need to get back to that. We need to get back to, like I said, believing and uniting with one another, iron sharpening iron, and it will make the world better. That's the best way, God wants us to do. That's where we need to go. That's the path we need to take. Now, to each his own. To each his own. We all have our decisions to make. That's what make the world go round. But, every choice has consequences. So these are the consequences to those who've been doing the people wrong. It's about the people. We are the people. We the people. In God we trust. So that's where we are. And this is what's taking place. If not, you will be left behind. Let me see, last but not least. This here is, people might not want to hear, because the numbers nowadays, it's like I said, people who aren't respecting each other. They're just trying to see, what can you do for me, or a deal. Like, if you can't do nothing for me, there's no need to even deal with you, talk to you. That's how most people thinking now, respectfully. They're saying like 16 states where your spouse can be arrested, locked up for cheating. They are saying 16 states still have a law on books making infidelity in marriage is a crime. The majority of states with an adultery law define the act of cheating and sexual intercourse between a married person and someone other than their spouse, according to the Women's Day. The last conviction of adultery in the country was in Massachusetts in 1983. According to the Wikipedia cited sources, it seemed that the cheating spouses are usually just taken to the cleaners. Even though we don't hear of jail time anymore for such criminal acts, straying from your spouse can still legally get you arrested and behind bars if a judge decides to do so. According to the Week website, while European countries once had anti-adultery laws on the book as well, almost all were repealed in the 1970s and 80s, but not here in America. Here's the full list of states where it's still illegal to cheat on your spouse, according to the Women's Day. Arizona, Florida, Kansas, Illinois, Massachusetts, Oklahoma, Idaho, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Utah, New York, Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Maryland. According to the Week, most states just consider this as a misdemeanor. It's a felony in Idaho. Massachusetts, Michigan, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin. A misdemeanor means up to 3 months in jail plus a fine, and a felony could land you in prison for up to 3 years. Sleeping around the city that never sleeps and everywhere else in the Empire States may change, as New York is the first state in years that is just waiting for the governor to sign a new legislation removing the law from the books. Maryland is actually the 17th state on this list. However, there's no jail time and the fine is only $10. By the way, what happens if you're married in a state where the laws isn't on the books, making it legal to cheat you, yet you cheat in one of these states where it's still against the law? Yeah, it's unfortunate. Like I said, the marriage rate is like not high as they once were. People not staying together for whatever the reason is. Growing up used to be about the family, doing what's right for the family. But people are entitled to how they feel. Not saying to stay with someone that you're unhappy with. But for the most part, if you are not sticking together, for the most part, that's why you have a lot of division now. That's why people are lacking, for the most part, most parents in the household, because of differences and the lack of understanding, communication, and also receiving the message from one another. Most of us was not taught properly how to communicate, on how to have the very difficult conversation, to put our ego to the side and just actually listen to the other party. And that's why we divided, and that's why the youth is, for the most part, doing their own thing, because they have certain type of information that the elders didn't have growing up, because it's like generational. What was taught is what you're going to teach to your kids. Now with the internet and social media and how you can receive your information, there's so much information out here. People need to be open-minded, no matter the age. Just be open-minded, and like I said, have the dialogue with one another, and you'll be amazed what you'll hear. You don't have to really subscribe to it. Just listen. Just be open-minded. You can learn something. We all learn from each other. An adult can learn from a kid. As humans, we can learn from animals. We can learn from each other. And once we get back to that, the world will be better. And stop judging for the most part, and just respect one another. We'll get back to on the right track. But it gets worse before it gets better. So that's where we are, and that's just what it is. And at the end of the day, let's treat one another better. Those who watching this on YouTube, subscribe, share, like, hit the notifications so you can know when we're going live for the updated news. Those on this platform, surely appreciate it. Check out the merch. Should be a link in the bio on this platform, on Instagram or X or Threads, whatever platform you're watching this from. Check out the merch. If you don't have the link in the bio or whatever platform you have, you can go to www.sogiftedproduction.com. Check out the merch, check out the service and the product there. I surely appreciate everyone for tapping in. Like I said, in the very near future, most people will be in the house. So those gamers who love the game, got opportunity to win prizes. Like, if you're really good, you have a great opportunity to make a career out of that. Gamers. It's a lot more opportunities out here. There's Madden, Call of Duty. Some people still play old games, Fortnite, 2K, a plethora of other games. Just naming a few, Mortal Kombat, just to name a few games. Let me see. But for the most part, the Madden people out there, and Call of Duty, definitely a great opportunity if you're looking for, help with your events. Whatever the case may be, there should be a number of contact on So Gifted KD platform. You could text, event. You could text gaming. If we need promotion, advertising, marketing, you could text that as well. Someone will definitely inform you and respond back to you with the next steps and the pricing and everything like that. So I surely appreciate everyone for still tapping on this platform. Take care of one another, look out for one another, and everything will be all right. Hi, this is So Good the Podcast. I'm KD. See you later.